In the beginning of the story, we see a jail that was built on a deserted hill. Today, new prisoners were being brought in this jail, one of whom was also an admin. As soon as he meets the warden, the admin tells him, "Sir, help me. I didn't do anything. I have been sent here under the wrong accusation." On which the warden replied very easily that I know if you had done something, you would have been thrown in a jail in the country. Here, so far, is in this jail, only those people are brought in who have been conspired against. After this, the warden beat him a lot. Then he was locked in a room in the jail where there was a wooden door and a small window. This door only opened once a year when the warden came in to beat him without any reason. Time passed and the admin was very upset to be locked alone in the room. He had written on the wall that God will give me justice. But also, when he was 12 years in that jail, his faith in God also began to rise. He thought that I will stuck here all my life. But then one day, suddenly the floor of his room began to rise from below. This unique incident made the admin lose conscience. He felt as if a ghost had come in front of him. After a while, the admin saw that a man was coming out of the floor. This man who come out of the floor is Abe, who is the prisoner of the floor below from here. For the past 5 years, he was digging a tunnel. Fate made such a turn that the tunnel went straight to the admin's room, as if a sign from God. By the rail of Abe, the admin had found a companion with whom he could talk because he had been locked alone in the room for so long and he was going crazy. After this, Abe called the admin to his room with great enthusiasm. There, the admin was very happy that he did not have to spend time making marks on the wall with stones. And as soon as the admin entered Abe's room, he was surprised to see the view there. Abe's room was not like the rest of the prisoners. You can say it was like a hotel. There were chairs of this comfort, and I don't know how many books were lying on the shelf. Abe promised the admin that if he helps him in the tunnel digging, then Abe can teach him in the remaining time. Anyway, the admin did not have anything special to do, so he immediately agreed. After this, the two were about to start digging when they heard the sound of the guard's footsteps. Shivering with fear, the admin immediately ran towards his room, and then he quickly prepared the garbage basket because the guard was about to come to his floor. In this jail, the door to the room only opens twice, once to collect the garbage and once to give dinner. Apart from this, the two will have a lot of time in the whole day in which they can easily dig the tunnel without worrying and getting caught. After this, a cut a small bunch of his hair. He removed the spark from the stone, lit the hair, and lit a candle. Then the two entered the tunnel and started digging. There was very little space below, so it was not easy to dig. Abe had an idea that if he kept walking on this speed, it would take him at least 3 more years to reach the outside of the ground. One day, while resting, the admin found out in Abe's book that Abe used to be a very good swordsman soldier. After this, the admin insisted that if Abe does not teach him swordsman spirit, then he will not dig the tunnel away. Now Abe had only one purpose in his life: to take revenge on his enemies. Hearing this, Abe agreed and was ready to teach Abe the art of fighting. Abe began to explain that speed is the greatest strength of a warrior. Abe thought of teaching a technique with the drops that were digging in the room. He passed his hand through the dripping water so fast that it did not get wet at all, and said that the day your hands will become so fast, you will become a capable warrior that day. After this, Abe went back to digging, and there Edmund continued to his practice. A few days later, Abe broke the wooden slats from the door and made a fake sword and started teaching Edmund swordsmanship in a good way. When his swordsmanship training was over, Edmund focused on his studies. Now his whole day was spent in studying, digging, and practicing swordsmanship. A few months later, Edmund's swordsmanship is improved a lot. Now Abe began to see that Edmund has become a better swordsman than ever. One evening, while talking, Edmund came to know that Abbey used to work for a very rich family named Stadius. His owner had earned a lot of money, and now Napoleon was imprisoned Abbey to get information about his treasure. After hearing this, Edmund got very angry because he is also trapped inside because of the deception of Napoleon. Day by day, the digging of the tunnel was taking them closer to freedom. One day, they started to see the roots of plants in the ground of the tunnel, with which Abe calculated that they are very close to getting out. Knowing this, there was no place for their happiness. But soon something happened that their happiness was found in the soil. The tunnel began to shake rapidly, and then, with a loud noise, a lot of stones and soil fell on them, under which Abe was buried. Afraid, Edmund immediately removed the stone and took Abe out. Actually, he was digging in the wrong direction. He must have made a mistake in the tunnel digging, because on the top of that, a food box had also fallen down. A very heavy stone fell on Abe's chest, and he was seriously injured. Due to the injury to his lungs, his life could have been lost at any time. In his last moment, Abe told Edmund with a weak voice that a book will be found under a stone in the room. There is something hidden under that book. Edmund got the map of the same treasure from there, due to which Abe was locked up here. After seeing the map, Edmund was very surprised. Abe promised him that he would always use his wealth for good and stay away from bad deeds as much as possible. Edmund promised. After a while, Abe died. Edmund had tears in his eyes because he felt that he was alone again. When the guard came to give food, Edmund hid behind the wall. The guard also called out, but got no answer. When he came into the check and saw Abe's body, he got scared and went to report to his seniors. Edward quickly hid the face of the tunnel and went back. After a while, the guard came back with some of his companion and put Abe's body in the body bag. Edmund was hiding in the tunnel and waiting for them to leave. As soon as the guard left, Edmund quietly entered the room and started looking at Abe's body. While looking at the body, an idea came to Edmund's mind. He quickly took the place of Abe's body. After a while, the warden came with his men to take the body from there. This jail was on a deserted top. That's why he thought that it would be right to throw the body in the sea. During this time, the guard took food and went to Edmund's room. But when no one knocked on the door again and again, the guard doubted. He opened the door and went inside, but he did not find Edmund's body, but found Abe's body. After that, the guard shouted and went to call the warden. The warden wanted to finish the job quickly, and the stormy winds were blowing that day. The waves of seas were crashing against the stone, so it was very difficult to hear anything, and the warden was trying to listen to the guard. But in the meantime, Edmund stole the warden's keys by surprise, but because of this shock, the warden also fell into the sea with Edmund. As soon as he fell into the sea, Edmund quickly freed himself with the help of the key. And as soon as he came up, he turned around and saw the warden. The anger of fears was filled inside him, and he mercilessly drowned the warden in the water and killed him. After that, he swam far into the sea without looking back. The next morning, when Edmund woke up, he was on an island. I don't know how he got here alive. He himself was not able to understand how he got here alive, but he was not free yet. A group of sea bandits were sitting and watching him. Edmund thought he would be killed, but the leader of the looters, Luigi, gave him a chance. He said that he would leave Edmund alive on the condition that Edmund would have to fight in his traitorous companion Jacopo, whom he was going to bury alive anyway. If Jacopo wins, he can rejoin the team, but he will kill Edmonds. But if Edmonds wins, he will release him. Soon, this competition started between the two. Jacopo was very good at his sportsmanship, but Edmund's technique learned from Abe proved to be very powerful. Despite many attacks, Jacopo could not even touch Edmund. As soon as he got a chance, Edmund attacked quickly and dropped Jacopo on the ground. But instead of killing him, Edmund told Luigi that we both will work for you. We are useful people. Why are you killing us for no reason? And it's not easy to find the sea looters. Luigi was happy to see Edmund's talent and mercy, and he spared both of them. During the conversation on the ship, Edmund told the captain his whole story, after which he released Edmund so that he could fulfill his revenge. Jacopo was also with Edmund. Edmund had saved his life, so he promised that he would always be loyal to him. Edmund asked Jacopo to arrange a ship until he did some personal work. Late at night, Edmund quietly went to his old master's house. But everything had changed. The old master did not even recognize him. He found out that his father had also died in the grief of going to jail. Edmund was deeply shocked by this news, and he was most hurt when Edmund found out that his old friend Montego had trapped him. And then Montego married his fiancée Mercedes. The next morning, Edmund and Jacobo boarded the ship with the full courage and went in the direction where there was treasure mark in the map. They searched for the treasure but did not find it. But then Edmund thought that there might be something under the water. He dived into the underground pond near the place mentioned in the map. There he found many old. As soon as he opened the chest, he saw shining gold. Jacobo happily picked it up and filled it with gold as much as he could. But to take the whole treasure, he needed a big ship. But Edmund still had a desire for revenge. He decided that his wealth would be of only one use to make way to his revenge. First of all, Edmund bought a big luxurious house and presented himself as a new rich man of France in front of everyone. He also invited the other rich people around him and for a party in this luxurious house. Soon his invitation and the royal style made him famous among everyone. The rich people also started taking interest in Edmund, but in reality Edmund was doing all this to attract the attention of his deceitful friend Montego, but he left without talking to him. Edmund's old fiancée Mercedes had married Montego, but she never got happiness. After spending all his money on gambling, alcohol, Montego was not in condition to repay the money he had taken from the bank. On top of that, Edmund played such a trick that it would be difficult for Montego to arrange money from anywhere else. Jacobo informed Edmund the Montego also has a son Albert. After which Edmund met a beautiful woman and his friend and got Albert's fake kidnapping so that Edmund himself could become a messiah and save him. The plan worked and Albert thought that this wise man saved my life. Albert thanked him and requested Edmund to come to the party on his birthday. Edmund showed some tantrum but finally agreed. In the same party, Albert introduced his father Montego to Edmund. The two were in the front of each other after 13 years. Edmund's appearance had changed so much that Montego did not recognize him. But as soon as Mercedes saw Edmund, she had a strange feeling, but she could not understand who he was. But after a while, when Edmund was moving his hair in a special way, Mercedes recognized him immediately because this was Edmund's old habit. Edmund knew that Montego needed money bad, and that's why he said loudly in front of him that I have got a lot of gold from a special place, and tomorrow my 100 kilos of gold will come in the ship. And Mr. Wilford, you have to clear everything from the police. Wilford was a corrupt magistrate who had full control over the police of this area. After listening to Edmund, Wilford made a plan with Montego in which he will loot Edmund's treasure before coming here, and then all his gold, on which Montego said that there is a man who can help him in this work. Actually, these three people were involved in sending Edmund to jail, and Edmund had deliberately gathered them now. Anyways, after the party was over, Mercedes quietly got into Edmund's horse car. While crying, he said that Montego had cheated him. He said that Edmund was hanged. Edmund was afraid that this truth would spoil his revenge plan. That's why he asked Mercedes to go back for now. After this, we saw that Edmund's gold ship was looted. Montego was the only man to do this with whom Edmund had to take his revenge. The man was thinking that it would be easy to steal, it was fun, but then his guards came here and caught him. When he started running, Edmund came in front of him. The man tried to fight, but Edmund put a rope around his neck. Before killing him, Edmund told him his real identity so that he remembers for what crime he died. Now the next target was Magistrate Wilford. Years ago, the magistrate had trapped Edmund for Napoleon's letter. The magistrate father himself was a supporter of Napoleon, but in the attempt to gain power, the magistrate had his own father killed and put the blame on Edmund and sent him to jail. But now Edmund very cleverly made the magistrate say all this. Wilford also said everything because Edmund can't prove all this anyway. But the police were already present in the room, who heard Wilford's whole story and took him away. Montego was preparing to run away, but Mercedes clearly refused to go with him. He also said that Albert, his son, is actually Edmund and Mercedes' son. She was pregnant when Edmund was arrested, and in this helplessness, she married Montego. Montego screamed in anger, but he had no other way. He went to an old fort where he had hidden all the treasure of theft. But when he opened the chest, only sand came out of it. In the last chest, only a small chest piece came out, which Edmund was given by Montego. At the same time, Edmund came there, and Montego had understood who he was. Mad Montego attacked Edmund with a sword, but he couldn't compete with Edmund. Edmund easily dropped his sword and hit him with the wall. But as soon as Edmund was about to attack for the last time, Albert came in the middle and said that I won't let my father die like this. Taking advantage of this, Montego started filling bullets and explosives in the gun. Then Mercedes also reached there, and she stopped Edmund and told him that Albert is his son. Hearing this, Edmund lost his mind. There, Montego aimed at Edmund with his gun, but Jacobo threw a knife like lightning, which missed Montego's aim, and the bullet still hit the shoulders of Mercedes. Montego ran away in this chaos, but Edmund followed him. But when Montego climbed on the horse and attacked, Edmund's swords fell. Now Montego seemed to be winning, but in the end, Edmund somehow dropped Montego and attacked him. Montego died on the spot. After his revenge cooled down, Edmund took his wife Mercedes and son Albert to the jail where he spent 13 years. There he remembered his guru Abe. He bowed his head at Abe's feet while thinking about Abe, and then he bought this whole area himself so that no one would have to endure what he endured. If you liked the video, then like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Thanks.